Well, well, Calvary, isn't it good to be back? The last 2 weeks were spent with 600 middle schoolers in a very frigid auditorium in the middle of Tennessee. And then last week, I was with Julie here with 1,200 high schoolers packed out in the mountains of North Carolina. Very, very fun, very fulfilling to see that there's hope for the Christian church yet, that young people, young kids, actually listen to the stuff that we say and want to engage in conversations about faith. So it was very, very, very refreshing 2 weeks. Our second passage is from the 32nd chapter of Exodus. When the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, the people gathered around Aaron and said to him, "Come, make gods for us who shall go before us. As for this Moses, the man who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." Aaron said to them, "Take off the gold rings that are on your ears and on your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." So all the people took off the gold rings from their ears and brought them to Aaron. He took the gold from them, formed it and molded it, and cast it into the image of a calf. And then said, "These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, "Tomorrow shall be a festival to the Lord." They rose early the next day and offered burnt offering and brought sacrifices of well-being. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose to revel. The Lord said to Moses, "Go down at once. Your people whom you brought out of the land of Egypt have acted perversely. They have been quick to turn aside from the way that I commanded them. They have cast for themselves an image of a calf and have worshipped it and sacrificed to it and said, 'These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt.'" This is the word of the Lord. Now, many of you who are familiar with a computer program are going to get this, but the ones who aren't, I'm not naming any names, but they know who I'm talking about. Joanne Haney. The way a computer program works is that a programmer has made something in the program, a little formula, in order for the program to do its function. Now, this whole idea of programming doesn't only exist in computers, it exists in our natural world. Hopefully most of us remember what happened, we learned in 9th grade science, but if you were to hold this hymnal up in the air, what would happen if I let go? It would fall and hit the ground. If I let go 1,000,000 times, it would fall and hit the ground 1,000,000 times. It is programmed into our world that gravity has a certain force and it works. Every time we let go of something, it falls down. Now we have things that are programmed into us also. Take, for example, breathing. You can sit here and you can think about your breathing. You can make it fast, you can make it slow, you can hold your breath. But if you're watching an interesting movie or if you're falling asleep at night, your body takes over. The program kicks in that says, "Hey, if I want to keep living, I guess I need to breathe." Hunger and thirst, they're programs in our body that say, "I need sustenance in order for me to survive, and I need food, I need water." Infants, if you submerge an infant and the infant's head goes underwater, the infant knows to plug its nose and its mouth to shut up its breathing. It's programmed into that infant to do that when it's submerged underwater. Animals in the animal kingdom, infants know to go straight to their mother when they come out of the egg or they come out of the womb. You see sea turtles who crawl out of sand and find their way into the ocean with no instruction of how to do that. It's programmed into them. We also have a program inside of us, a program that wants to seek something bigger, something higher, something that's transcendent above us. And we as Christians know what that force, what that power is in the world. When I was a kid at summer camp, that's probably why I still go to camp all the time as an adult now. At summer camp, I used to love laying on my back and looking up at the stars and just wondering what's out there, what planets are spinning around those other stars. Is there life out there? How would God connect with all of this stuff billions and billions of light years away? I used to love that, and that was this program inside of me that wanted to seek something above me, seek something more powerful and more transcendent than who I was. And all cultures all people, all over time and space, have this program in them. There's not a culture or a society who's existed on planet Earth that hasn't decided to think what is bigger than me, what created me, what formed me, what molded me. The questions of why, the questions of existence is programmed into us as human beings, just the way breathing and eating and drinking are. Now, if you have conversations with people around the church, which I do all the time, you would think that many people, especially in the church, are convinced that this program is no longer in humanity, that people don't want to think about God. People don't want to think about the power that created them. People aren't concerned about that stuff anymore. So we think that in the church. But all these studies point to people being just as questioning, just as seeking, just as wanting to exercise this program as they ever were throughout all of history. We as a church have messed up the translation for that for other people. But that program, that desire, that thing to seek out who is bigger than me, who created me, who knows me, is still in humanity. Now, we can choose to exercise that in terrible and awful ways. In this morning's story, we hear that. The preface to what we heard was, most of you probably know the story well, but Moses takes the nation of Israel out of slavery, out of captivity, from Egypt, leads them across the Red Sea. They're led by this huge cloud of fire at night, and they can see where they're going. They watch the walls of the Red Sea part, and they can walk on dry land. They see all this amazing stuff happen, and they're out there in the middle of the desert, and Moses is gone sometime. The beginning of the scripture just says he was delayed in coming down. So he's up on a mountain talking to God, and the people have this. They have the program that says, I need to seek this. I need to be connected with this, with something more bigger than I am, with more transcendent, with more powerful than me. So what do? They express it in an unhealthy form. They make a calf out of rings and earrings and necklaces. They make it out of pure gold, and they worship this calf because they still wanted to use this program. It was still functioning inside them that says, seek this. Connect with this thing that's bigger and powerful than you are. We also have a program in us that wants to seek this way, that wants to connect with community. That's why we come to places like this. That's why we have friends over for dinner. And we were made to do this. In both stories of creation, the human creature is not fully made until there are two people to be in community. If I were to take each of you and put you in an empty room by yourself, I would give you Netflix and pictures of your family and whatever you wanted, and all the food you can imagine for 3 weeks. At the end of those 3 weeks, what would your mental condition be like? Probably not too well, right? Now, if I were to send you home for 3 weeks, and then be with your family, and be with your friends, and go to the grocery store, and come to church, you might have stories of being annoyed a couple of times throughout those 3 weeks. But how would you feel? Normal. You'd feel like you were supposed to feel. You'd feel like a human being. This is why solitary confinement is the worst punishment that you can give somebody, is to lock them off and to isolate them from community. Because this program in them, just like breathing, just like eating, just like drinking, is not able to work. It's not able to function correctly. But just like the golden calf of messing up how we use this program, we mess up how we use this program also, the ones that want to seek out community and be in relationships with one another. There's a social media called Instagram. Are you familiar with Instagram? I work with a bunch of middle schoolers, high schoolers, and they all are on Instagram, and I'm on Instagram also. The way Instagram works is you take a picture of something that you're doing in your life and you post it on Instagram, and you can leave a comment or a caption about what you're doing. So middle schoolers and high schoolers, they use Instagram instead of Facebook because their mom is on Facebook, so that's why they're on it. They won't admit that, but that's why they use Instagram instead of Facebook. So I get to be in connected with all these kids from all over the country now of Instagram. And I see what they do. They take Instagram as the rule that says this is how community works. If I want to be part of the community, if I want to exercise and use this program that's been put inside me, I have to play by the rules of the community. And the rules the community have set up on Instagram is that if your picture doesn't get enough likes, so you can hit a little heart button on the picture and it'll show you how many people have liked it. If your picture doesn't get enough likes, you have to take it down. There's also a rule that if you can't post a picture too early in the morning because it'll get lost in the news feeds and it won't then get enough likes. So you have to time when you want to put your picture up. And there's a horrible one a rule that they have in the community. They all seem like they play by. They post a picture that says, like for a rate. There's no picture, it's just a blank screen with words on it. And if you like the picture, this person will go to all your pictures and they'll rate you from a 1 to a 10. And if you get rated, that means I'm part of the community. This is what the community thinks about me. I get to play by the rules. I'm still part of it because I've done these Instagram rules of what it means to be part of a community. And these are rules that we made up, that we still uphold, that we still do. And the way we express this program minutes that says seek out community, we sometimes hurt people because we're playing by rules that we made up. When I was in 6th grade, the beginning of the school year for back to school shopping, I was at a place called Ross. Do you have Ross in Delaware? It's kind of like Marshall's and TJ Maxx. And we're going clothes shopping, and I see this outfit. This is like 1994. This all denim outfit. It's got these cool like patches on it. It's got like this graffiti writing on the stomach, and it's got these huge shorts to match it. So I grabbed this outfit. It was way more money than Mom wanted to spend. I'm like, Mom, I need this for back to school. I have to have this outfit. I'm throwing it in the cart. She's like, John, just get regular shirts and shorts. You don't need this. I'm like, yes, I do. I definitely need this outfit. So through begging, I finally get it. And I tell her I'm going to wear this every day. It's going to be, and I'm convinced that this is going to be my, I'm playing by the rules of the community that says, this is what's cool. So I get the outfit, show up to school first day, and the exact opposite of in my head happens. I'm ridiculed, I'm made fun of, people are laughing at this outfit that I thought was great, that I thought the community had said, hey, here's the rules on how to look cool, but it wasn't true, and I was hurt by the rules of the community. And I've also been the person to hurt others and to say, well, here's how we play the game. If you want to be part of the community, you need to play by these rules. I had to walk home from elementary school and middle school. And I never remember how my brother or sister got home. They were just there when I got there sometimes. And one time I had to walk with my sister. And I usually walk with my best friend Aaron, and he wasn't walking home that day, so I'm walking home with my sister. And my sister's 2 years younger than I am. And the rules of the community said, if you want to be part of the cool ones, you can't hang out with little sister. What's wrong with you? You can't do that. So here's what I did on our walk home. My sister had to walk about 30 yards behind me and on the other side of the street. So we finally get to about three doors down from my house, and I'm like, Libby, come here, come on. So I know I'm going to be in trouble if we walk in at different times. So we walk in the door, and I'm smiling, going back down, and the first he says is, Mom, John, you walk behind me and across the street. So I was obviously in trouble, but I helped hurt someone else by thinking that I needed to be a cool person, somebody who's part of the community, who plays by the rules that we've set up. Because of this. Because this program made me that says I needed to be in connection with others. And when we mess that up, we sometimes hurt people when we're supposed to be connecting with them and drawing them in. But this is not just for middle schoolers and high schoolers and kids in 5th grade in 1994. This is true of adults also. One of the cool things about being a pastor is that you get to hang out with 2-year-olds, and you get to have conversations with 92-year-olds, and you get to see people on different walks of life, and adults are just as guilty of playing by rules that we made up of what it means to be in community. Think of the last time you had a dinner party or a barbecue. I'm sure you left your dining room table the way it always is, right? I'm sure that the stuff was on your couch that's always on your couch, right? No, we don't let people into our home without it being absolutely clean and pristine, and this image that this is how we live 24 hours a day. Of course, everything's picked up and put away. Don't look in the shower in the upstairs bathroom because there's boxes behind those curtains up there. We play by these rules too. We do it because we think that that's what it means to to exercise this. We won't be valued, we won't be seen as members of the community if we break the rules that we've set up and that we uphold. But the thing is about these programs that are inside of us, the one that says seek this and the one that says seek this, are the exact same program. There's a line that we use in the church where we call God as the pattern of community. We know God as three. We know God as the Trinity, as the Creator, as Jesus, and as the Holy Spirit. The nature of who God is a community, is a relationship, is a network, is something that's connected together. This program that's in us, like a computer program, this one has a very simple formula to follow. You plus others plus God. When we follow that formula, when we use that, we fully express who we are. We're fully human. We're fully who God intended us. We cannot seek God by ourselves. We cannot seek community and relationship without God. They have to work together. This is what this hour in here is supposed to be, is us using this program to its full ability. When you seek God without seeking others, when you sit at home and only read a devotional and never have a conversation about faith and never show up at church, you're not expressing and using the program that was put inside of you. And there's dangers to doing that. When we have other voices, when we have other ears, when we have other eyes seeing this and hearing this and feeling this, it makes the picture of God that much more beautiful. It makes our knowledge of God that much more deeper. It makes the sound of who God is in this world that much more richer. We have to use both of these programs. Each year I get to lead a group of students through confirmation class. And at the end of the year, they're told to present their statement of faith. I told them they all don't have to write one. If you're a terrible writer, please draw or paint or act out or sing your statement of faith. And these are a group of 8th graders. And every year, without fail, there'll be an image, there'll be a picture, there'll be a description of who God is that I've never heard before. Seminary trained, working in the church, never heard before. And when I get to have that, when I get to be in community and relationship and hear how other people see and know and feel God, it makes my picture of God that much more powerful. The more hands we have to do stuff, the more work gets done. The more eyes we have to look at it, the more beautiful it is. So friends, exercise this program. Use what's been put in you by God that wants you to seek this, but also wants you to seek this. Calvary, that's our job. That's our job as the church, to fully use the program that God has put in each one of us.